I'm Brittany Roger. You're watching The Drawing Zoo, and today I'm showing you how I draw the red-eared slider. Today we are talking about shape and form. First, we will do a warm-up, then meet the animal, then draw the animal. I will use a pencil and paper, but there are a lot of other materials you can use in this activity. If you're new to the Drawing Zoo, I suggest you start with our shape video, which I will link to in the description. Today, I'd like to talk about 3D shapes, or forms, and the faces, or sides of the forms. I am going to trace the sides, or faces, of this form and find out what shapes we can make. If you can, pause the video and grab your own tube so we can trace it together. Who was expecting to see a circle?
Yep.
Now let's lay the tube flat and trace it again. It's a rectangle.
Whoa.
That's right. This tube is called a cylinder, which has 2 flat circles and a rectangle. Let's try another one. Grab something nearby that you can trace. I have a big pink eraser. It's okay if you need many tries to trace your object at home. Working around your fingers can be really tough. Ooh, okay. So we have another rectangle for the face of this eraser. No matter how skinny the side of the eraser is, it is still a side, and I want to know what shape it makes. It's a rhomboid.
A what?
I have no idea what that is.
A rhomboid is a rectangle with 2 tilted sides going in the same direction.
Alrighty, okay.
If you like this activity, you can always pause the video and trace more objects. That was a great warm-up. Now let's meet the animal. This is Leonardo. He is my red-eared slider.
I thought it was a turtle.
The red-eared slider is a type of turtle.
Oh.
Where do you think this animal is from? Desert, grasslands, pond, or ocean? If you thought this was a pond turtle, you were correct. This animal is originally from the American Southwest, but have adapted to living in many other places across America.
Wow.
This is the most popular pet turtle in America. Over the past 50 years, many people have bought red-eared sliders as pets and then released the turtles into their backyards, parks, and local watersheds.
No.
According to the Maryland Biodiversity Project, the red-eared slider is considered non-native, which means they don't belong here, but they are not ruining the habitat. Phew! Sliders get their name because they so easily slide into the water off of rocks or logs when they see a big animal or a predator. This shell is not their house.
Say what?
I always thought they carried their house on their back.
I'm really sorry. I know a lot of people love saying that. I mean, it is fun and cute, but their shell is not their house. If you hurt their shell, they will feel it because their shell is part of their body. It has bones in it, it has muscles, it has skin, it has veins. They are called red-eared sliders because they have a red stripe right behind their eyeballs, which is where their ear is.
Ears?
Yes, turtles have ears. It's kind of impossible to find it. I didn't know turtles had ears until I saw one with an ear infection, and then I was like, oh, that's where the ear is. What does this turtle eat?
Lettuce?
Grass?
Those are good and common guesses, but this animal only eats what they can find in or around a pond. Fish worms, bugs, flies, plants. Hey! Looks like our friends are back to meet the turtle with us.
Yay!
Let's see what they notice.
Long nails.
Good observation.
Look at those claws.
It's likely a beach or like a pond.
Right.
It's probably a pond in a grassland.
You are correct.
Because in sand they don't camouflage.
So the reason he couldn't be from the ocean is because of his feet.
It's hard to show you his webbed feet because his feet are ticklish, so if I touch them, he'll just suck them back into his protective body. He does have a tail. He likes to keep his tail private, so sorry. He does not have the flippers that a sea turtle has. Animals that live in the ocean or big water usually have flippers instead of webbed feet. Can you think of any animals who live in the ocean that have flippers? Penguins kind of have the best of both worlds there. They got flippers and webbed feet. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about after all. Sea turtles only come on land to lay their eggs, where pond turtles come on land all the time. In fact, when I was building my turtle habitat, I had to make sure that it was equal parts water and land.
What does he look like with his head extracted all the way back into his head?
That's a great question.
I mean, that is his head, his shell body.
I call this his turtleneck.
His skin is kind of wrinkly,
Yes.
so he can actually come back.
Exactly. If his skin was tight, he wouldn't be so stretchy.
He has like octagon, like triangles, octagons.
Yeah.
So he has different shapes. Like that's like a square.
Each shape on his shell is called a scoot. And the scoots shed, just like a snake sheds its skin, only it sheds in flakes instead of one piece. And that's because the shell is
Part of their body.
part of their body, right? He can feel this. It's not sensitive. It is hard to protect him.
And he's going forward.
So you were totally right about the shape of his head, Brady, huh? It's like a rounded triangle thing.
Yeah.
What other swimming animals have pointy heads?
Pointy heads help animals swim faster.
Don't you just love his pinstripes? I really want to get a shot of his feet. Yes! Awesome. So this is exciting to show you the webbed feet, but it's also his way of telling me that he's getting sick of being held. So I'm going to put him down.
This is a good time to draw the animal. Based on the warm-up, I am going to draw today's animal from 2 different angles. Spoiler alert! What the turtle looks like from the side and from above. We always start with the biggest shape or body part first. The biggest body part on this turtle is the shell, which from the side looks like a half circle. His face, we mentioned earlier, is very pointy, but there's a big curve on the bottom of his head. So I do another half circle, but smaller. Next, I draw his big floppy webbed feet. To help show how wide his feet get, I drag my lines to make a little flare on the ends. And then I add squiggly lines to show his toes. We practiced those in the line video, which I will link to in the description. And I repeat those steps towards the front of the shell where the neck is. I say the tail is optional because we never see it, but I do a small triangle. His eyes are a small body part, but they are really bulgy, and they sit right on the top of his head. Half circle for the eyelid, full circle for the eyeball. These eyes are meant for popping out of the water while the rest of the body is underwater. I'm now realizing I forgot to do the bottom part of the shell. That's
Oops.
okay. I will do a curved line that pulls everything together. Back to those details.
Why does his nose look like they have rings on them?
Those are his nostrils.
Oh, that kind of makes sense.
I do a small little dot for his nostril and a straight line for his beak. If we were watching him swim in clear water, we would be able to see all of his feet. So I'm adding those.
So, his different shapes like that.
Remember when the boys noticed the scoots? There are many right ways to draw the scoots, but I like to start with a line in the middle of the top shell, also called the carapace. Then I draw a stretched out W from the top. From the tips of the W, I connect it to that line we drew in the middle of the carapace. On the other side of that middle line, I connect it to the plastron, or bottom shell, using more lines. Since I'm not using color, I am going to draw in that little stripe behind his eye. Lastly, I add lines on the end of the feet to represent those claws. And it feels good to add some squiggly water lines. The boys are doing a great job working on their turtles. While they work, let's take a look at the animal from above. I see more of an oval shape this time. From this angle, his head is pointy like a triangle, but made with curved lines that come together. Next, I draw the tail the same shape as the head, but smaller.
I can't see.
Whoops! Sorry, guys. Keep trying your best. To represent those big floppy feet, I draw a curved line, and I like to think of using the letter M when I draw the toes. I love drawing those round eyes. This time I'm using a full circle for the eyelids and the eyeball. Oops, I don't usually do details like this before the big shapes like the scoots. I was just having so much fun. Let's take another look at those scoots. There's no one way to draw scoots, but for me, the easiest way is to start out drawing a hexagon. It's two lines connected at the top and bottom with the letter V. Next, I draw another oval and connect it to the pointy parts of the hexagon. And then I fill in that blank area with more little lines. You may have noticed that he has smaller shapes or patterns in each scoot. I get creative with my lines as I fill in each scoot. This feels done for me. Let's check on the guys. Looks like they both prefer to draw the turtle from the side. Notice that their drawings do not look exactly the same. Good job, everyone! I love seeing artwork from so many people in so many age groups. The goal is not to have our artwork look the same, but to express what we learned. Did you know there are so many types of turtles? I hope you had a great time learning about this animal. Subscribe to this channel for more animal art activities. So, the ear, he won't turn his head. Look at that. That's so cool.
Not their home because turtles have habitats. Hello. Hello, Mr. Turtle. Hello. Ah.
Now, his red stripe is speckled with black and white spots, which is not typical. Maybe I should have grabbed another turtle.
Hello, Mr. Turtle. Interview time. Interview time. Hello, Mr. Turtle. What is your favorite thing to do?
Here, do you want to use this as the microphone? Sorry, I only have one.
I started the interview. Hello, Mr. Turtle. Do you like to swim? Bloop, 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 bloop. Do you use your camouflage a lot? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Are you very cute?
Do you want to look at the turtles in the pond now?
Hi, Miss Whitney.
Hi, Matt.
Hello. Come here, honey. Come here. You're such a brat.
You like falling off the shelves.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop.